45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense, and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week, located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
Back to this delayed Alehorn for November 2023. I thought I'd do something pretty fun here for this month. We have two new Flamekeepers on the team, Aaron Ossont, who hosts the new show Ossont and Battery. You might be familiar with Aaron on the Alehorn before. He's been a guest 2 times, I do believe. And also a newcomer with Metal on a Budget, Mr. Daniel White, hailing from Illinois. Or no, Indiana. Sorry.
Yeah.
I have brain fog from my flu, so you have to forgive me if my voice seems a little raspy or more annoying than usual. I haven't got over it yet, but Flamekeepers we don't lie down. We just get up and do it. Here I am, almost 100% health, but nonetheless, we're going to push on through this episode. So what I have today is some get to know you questions for the new guys on the team here. Just some general music fandom stuff. Nothing too controversial, unless you want to make it that way. I'm always game for a good hot take. But so let's just get started here. We're gonna go with Daniel and then Aaron. All these questions because Daniel is like the new guy.
Okay.
So Daniel, let's just get right to the point, right to it here. What got you into music, and do you play any instruments? What band and what genre is your favorite?
All right. Well, the first one I can remember, the earliest memory, So my brother had a blue guitar. I wasn't allowed to touch it, and it made me want to play it even more. So that's kind of how I started, picking up the guitar. I'd run into his room when he was gone and pluck around on it and set it back neatly. And well, music groups right now, I'm actually in a band called Those Who Speak Evil as the lead guitarist.
Cool,
and
man.
Oh, thank you. I didn't make the name, but we have a couple more shows to end the year, and things are kind of steamrolling right along.
Cool, man. By the way, can I interject that being an older brother is definitely the way to go because you can always just have your way.
Yeah.
So, throw that out there. For all your older brothers out there, you know what I'm talking about. What genre is your band? Would you say, or subgenre, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, I usually just say death metal, but some say progressive metal, heavier progressive metal, I would say.
We don't get too deep into the weeds on that, but that is an episode I do want to have about genres and subgenres, how ridiculous it can get.
Yeah, it really does get ridiculous. For sure.
But I have weird thoughts on it, so I'm like kind of pro let's like micromanage this shit to like as far as we can go, so I know what I'm getting, kind of thing.
Right.
But we'll save that for another. We'll save that for another
yeah.
time. How about you, Aaron? First music fandom memories.
Oh God, probably when I was younger. My dad played a lot of music, played a lot of records at home, usually on Saturday mornings. And one thing I distinctly remember is he had an old brown Chevy truck, and he had a 1979.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those are good. Square bodies, man. They're hard to beat, dude, still to this day.
And we used to listen to a lot of Creedence. He had a Creedence tape, and we had a tape deck in there. And I remember listening to a lot of Creedence in there, and then Triumph. Triumph Just the Game album was a big one.
Yeah.
It's like part of my like ingrained in me. So that's probably one of my first memories of music and stuff.
Cool, man. Do you think you bought that CCR tape from a truck stop or a gas station or anything like that? Or
No idea where he got it from. Maybe like Caldor or Zares or something.
I don't even know what that is. That must be a regional thing.
It was more regional.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I've always been fascinated about the whole memory of the cassette spinner at like truck stops or convenience stores. Do you guys remember those, or are you too young?
Don't, yeah.
Really? Yeah, it used to be a thing, dude. Like you would go in and like it would be like it'd always be like the best of or like greatest hits or super hits of like somebody like Dwight Yoakam or like Hank Williams Jr. or something like that. And it's like you just I need this tape for $6 or whatever. It's like I know all these songs already, but they have a live version that's pretty cool. So stuff like that. So yeah, it was a real thing, Daniel. Stick with us, man. We'll teach all kinds of stuff that really did exist. That seems bizarre as shit nowadays.
I'm already learning. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you consider the golden era of metal for you guys, whether you lived through it or not?
I guess I'll go first. Man, it's all great. It's really hard to really put which one's better than which. I mean, you got some really amazing 80 bands and 90s, but yeah, I don't know. That's a really, really hard question to answer. But for me personally, as a guitarist, I'd say the 90s really started springing off, having everybody kind of listening to Eddie Van Halen and being inspired by people like him. And you start kind of seeing some really crazy stuff like, Pantera and
right
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that like early 90s era, man.
Yeah.
Like Metallica put out the Black Album, Megadeth put out Symphony and Rust in Peace in the early 90s. Slayer put out drawing a blank here. Seasons in the Abyss, which is my favorite Slayer album. I know some people might scratch their head and wonder why, but I love that album.
Me too, man.
And Anthrax put out Sound of White Noise, which was controversial. It was a hit or miss for some people, but it was their biggest album, by far. Sound of White Noise was, and then like I said, with Cowboys coming out, Sepultura. I forgot which album was first in the 90s. It was either Arise or I think it might have been Arise.
Arise, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
But
90s.
yeah, there was so much, and like MTV was really a big thing, with like a lot of cool bands like White Zombie when they hit big in the early 90s, stuff like that. So yeah, 90s is hard to beat for golden era. I mean, it really is. Like you can go 80s too, I mean, obviously, the first four Metallica albums, like you can't hard to argue, Slayer's first few, obviously Megadeth getting started and like some of the better quality hair metal bands, stuff like that, all in there. But then you go 70s too with like Judas Priest and Sabbath firing up. It's like, dude, it never really stops,
Yeah, it's that for sure.
There's a strong argument for like all of it, but if I had to go for my personal pick, it would probably be that early that 92 to like 94 stretch. Yeah. How about you, Aaron?
For me, it would probably be late 70s, early 80s.
Okay. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, Van Halen, Kiss, dude. Yeah.
I love that, like, kind of foreigner type rock stuff that I grew up on, and then the early metal stuff. I love new wave of British heavy metal groups.
Mm-hmm.
Even some more obscure ones like Jaguar and Tank and stuff.
Yeah.
I just love that sound, man. And I grew up in the 90s and was influenced by like Pantera, and that was like my first huge band that I was obsessed with. But I just always find myself going back to the 80s and even bands that sound like the 80s, So but late 70s, early 80s would probably be my bread and butter.
Yeah, right. And let me ask you guys something, since you're kind of like, I guess you're both considered Northerners, really. From where I'm at, you're definitely Northerners. What's your stance on Pantera now and like the whole Rebel Flag thing back in the 90s? Like, looking back on it now, does it like kind of like change your mind about them, or is it just like, how do you guys view it? Because like living down here, like you've seen that shit all the time. Like it never really triggered anything in me, but like looking at it now through like modern lens, like I kind of see what they were getting at. But like you listen to some of the lyrics, it's like, well, dude, these guys were like really not like the Rebel Flag, like
no.
like the rebel flag kind of people. Like it looks like the song regular people. It's like putting down like skinheads and stuff, which is weird because like Phil looks like a total skinhead now. It's like
Yeah.
kind of like embrace that look, even though he's like anti in the song at least. We all know about the white wine incident and stuff like that. But what's your views on it from being like on the other side of the other top half of the country?
For me, I grew up, like I said, I was huge into Pantera, Down. I was a big Anselmo fan. The rebel flag thing, I used to have the shirts. As I grew older, it did kind of become a little cringe. I wasn't really down with the whole rebel flag thing, but they're guys from the South. People are complicated, man. I mean, maybe he does have some prejudiced views, and I think he's acknowledged that maybe, but also at the same point in time, am I going to throw out all the records because of it? No, they're a big impact on my youth. And like you said, some of the lyrics seem to be quite against, racism and prejudice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that's why, it's complicated, I mean, so that I never really had I've noticed now they don't really do as much with the rebel flag with their marketing as far as the band now. If you go on their website, a lot of pop leaves. So, I don't really, it doesn't really bother me, I guess, to look back on it, some of the stuff he'd say back then, I think a lot of that had to do with just Phil being loaded and stuff and him being kind of arrogant at the time.
Sure.
But that stuff's a little cringe, but that doesn't bother me now, really.
Right. How about you, Daniel?
Well, as a guitar player, I really don't focus on like what their image is going for. I'm really all about like the patterns that I hear in the songs and, just like the guitar. So when I like go watch, say if I go see something like that live, I'm usually kind of focused on what the guitarists are doing because, well, that's what I kind of revolve around. And I really never took any influence by that as a kid. It really, I mean, I see trucks all over this, town with the flags and all that crap in their trucks. And
oh, really? Up there even?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, I really just pay no attention to it. I let them be themselves. Just if that's what they want to do, man, that's them.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just always curious about like how they kind of went over from people not in the area. Because like I said, when I was in high school, dude, like that shit. I mean, like you see like the kids in the like parking lot, like their rebel flags in the morning and shit. Like I'm like, I didn't really never care about it because I was like, it's kind of like the second place loser's flag to me. It's like it should never be flown above the national flag because first of all they lost, so why would you like do that? And second of all, it's just like, dude, just like let's be one now. It's like the shit ain't never coming back. It's just done. So let's put it in a museum or we can watch it on Dukes of Hazzard reruns if you ever see it anywhere. But I'll tell you, man, like ever since like the George Floyd stuff, like that stuff's like disappeared, man. Like I don't see Dukes of Hazzard on anywhere anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I just found it weird too that Phil got. I mean, he did get a lot of the crap because of what he said, but if you look at Vinny and Dime went and did an album with David Allan Coe, and I don't know if anybody knows about his past with some of his racist songs. I think all of the guys in the band probably have a history with some questionable takes.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, David Allan Coe, there's a county near me called Cock County, Tennessee, Cock with an E, if you're interested. And there's a it's a Klan stronghold over there. Like it's still like a real thing. Like they do cockfighting and stuff like that. You can look it up. It was on the news not terribly long ago. Just look up like a FBI bust cockfighting ring in Del Rio, Tennessee, which is like the biggest city in the county. But they used to have a like a Klan get together over there, and David Allan Coe would headline it. That's no joke. And the weird thing was like he had like a black drummer. Yeah, it's fucking bizarre, dude. All right, what was the first show you guys ever went to?
All right, so it was over in Louisville.
Was it Overload?
Huh?
Was it an Overload show?
It was not. It was.
Okay.
I know it was at like Bulldogs. I believe that place is closed down. And the band that was headlining, it was a little small hole in the wall kind of place. It wasn't nothing crazy. But though it was Rose Funeral playing, and I didn't know what I was getting into. My buddies would just always drag me to the shows, especially after this one. I remember driving there in El Camino, and 2 guys were in the back, and there was 3 people up front. And right before that headlining band, like their first song they started to play, the people in the crowd went nuts. Like they started throwing chairs, and oh yeah, it was crazy. We had the cops all showed up, and the like venue broke down. So it was a not very pleasant experience for sure. I
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
fun. That sounds like a good first show to me, man.
was like, is this how it always is?
And unfortunately, no, but yeah, that sounds like a good one to get your feet wet for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting for sure.
How about you, Aaron? What was your first
The
memory?
first show I went to was right up actually the road for me. There was this little like music hall, there a Germania Lodge, like a one of those local kind of fraternal organizations. And there was a band Tree from Boston played, a local band called the Savalas Youth, and the Toxic Field Mice out of Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
And that was the first big small one. And the first big show I went to was probably around a year later. It was Pantera, White Zombie, and I Hate God.
Oh wow.
I think
Yeah.
the War of Gargantuans tour.
Yeah. I wanted to go to that tour so bad, but they didn't come around me, man. Yeah, I remember when that was happening because that was like 2 of my favorite bands like touring together, and I was like, holy shit, So yeah, I bet it was pretty wild, man.
I remember at one point, like Dime started playing like some Leonard Skinner licks and stuff like that. And then Phil's like, "Yeah, we'll play anything. We'll do karaoke. We'll play anything except that new Metallica shit." Right when Load and Reload were out, and everyone's like, "Oh, Metallica,"
Yeah. Phil like that was on like an anti-metallic kick for a long time because I saw him with Superjoint back in like I would say early 2000, maybe 2001 or something like that. And dude, he was still going on about that shit. Like even at the show I saw, like, dude, get over it, man. Like,
Man.
yeah, but, you know what I mean?
yeah. What's the first album you guys ever owned, whether as a gift or you bought it yourself? And what format?
Daniel, you want to go first? You want me to go?
You can go. I gotta go back a little bit here.
Yeah, go to the archives.
Remember, my mom bought me from a local, department store. It would have been Run DMC's "Raising Hell."
Oh, nice.
That I think I was probably like 7 or 8 years old or something.
Right.
And she bought me that tape. I had tapes before, but they were always hand-me-downs from like my dad or like my brother or like an uncle or something. But this is the first one that I actually I got, and I opened the plastic myself.
Hell yeah, big deal, man.
It had the Aerosmith song "Walk This Way," so I remember I like that. So
okay, yeah, that would be the album. Yeah.
And that was like, yeah, the first CD I ever had was a greatest hits album with Black Sabbath, and it was like 1960 something to 1970 or something like that on the case, but it was just like a greatest hits. And I can remember just listening through those as a kid and just being mind blown, like what is going on? That was it was a great album to listen to for sure.
Yeah, I think mine that I ever owned was probably I think Appetite, because I was 7 when Appetite hit, and I got the tape for Christmas that year. Little did my mom know that the band cover was actually inside the J card. So I had like a damn picture of like a woman about to be raped by a robot, like 7 years old, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm fucking cool because I got this shit, and like I show my dad. He's like, don't let your mom know that. So, yeah.
What am I even looking at?
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. So I just knew I wasn't supposed to be looking at it. So that's what you remember. I wish I still had that tape, man. But that was the first one. Excuse me. That was the first one I remember owning, but the first one I ever bought my own money was Load on CD.
God, I think the first one I bought with my own money was probably, I don't even remember. Probably a hardcore CD because I got into hardcore pretty early, or
Right.
probably maybe like an Agnostic Front or maybe even that band Tree that I went and saw. I got big into them, so that might have been the first one I bought.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's cool, man. You never forget like your first, as they say. But yeah, first CD I ever bought was Load. I still got it right over there. It's probably scratched up all the shit. But yeah, it's definitely the first pressing. I know that much. The Electra record label when they were on there. So now everything's like blackened. What is your favorite country of metal overall? Like U.S., Sweden, Canada, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say probably America, USA.
A patriot here.
Yeah, you got Black Dahlia Murder, Cannibal Corpse, you got all kinds of crazy good bands. But yeah, Swedish death metal is definitely right there with it for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough call for me. It's either between England or America, but I'm probably gonna have to go with America. I like one of my favorite bands, especially early bands, is Riot. I'm a huge Riot fan. They get nearly enough credit. So yeah, I probably have to go with America. Like Pantera was a big band. All the like bands that I really got into, besides Black Sabbath, were probably American bands. So yeah, I'll have to go with America.
Right. I'm probably gonna have to go against my countrymen here, and I'm probably going to go England. Just because, because you got Priest, Sabbath, and Motorhead, and those three right there are just like, I love Metallica, I love Megadeth, I love a lot of bands from here, you know. But yeah, it's hard to beat the originators, man, and those three to me are like the like three on the Mount Rushmore. Four would probably, if you had to pick four, I would probably just go King Diamond just because he looked awesome engraved on a stone. Merciful fate, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go England, my overall favorite. But yeah. Oh, don't forget Maiden too. I forgot Maiden. I can't believe I forgot Maiden. So yeah, England's probably gonna be my top, but yeah, America is like definitely a close runner up for sure, no doubt. What's your favorite non-metal artist? Besides Run DMC, Aaron.
Oh God.
It could be anything. It could be rap, country, whatever, you know.
So like that probably changes me a lot. So right now I've been into a lot of Warren Zevon. I've been listening to a lot of him, but big into Warren Zevon.
Right.
I love it. Like I just think he's so clever. The songwriting's phenomenal. The musicianship. In fact, I didn't know if any of you know this, but on the Werewolves of London, the rhythm section on that is actually
Oh, I thought Kid Rock wrote that song. I was surprised.
What's that?
I thought Kid Rock wrote that song. I didn't know Warren Zevon did. But fucking hack. Yeah. Anyway.
Non-metal.
I know, man. It's hard sometimes. Like, damn, man. Like, who do I like that's not metal?
Yeah, there's a lot of great artists out there. You know, like Ted Nugent. That one, Great White Buffalo. That song I always thought hit, but I don't know if that's metal. I don't. You know, I feel like that's kind of like softer music for me.
Like proto metal, maybe.
Some Eric Clapton. You know, I don't know. That's really a hard one.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It is. If you had to pick one,
I'm trying to think of all the CDs that I have. I don't know. Let's see. It's hard, man. I've listened to mainly metal my whole life, so
yeah, me too. I'm probably gonna go Dwight Yoakam for my non-metal artist. Yeah, he's awesome, man. Like all this like crap out of Nashville or like even back like the 90s and stuff, which I appreciate a lot now more than I used to, the prime country stuff. But that dude like never really sang about the prototypical crap. Like his like songs didn't have to have like we had to name a place, a dog, and a beer in every song. Otherwise, it's not country. And like this dude, I mean, like, dude, his riffs are fucking amazing, dude. I mean, like, you know, guitars, Cadillacs, that song fucking rules, man. I know it was in Terminator 2 and stuff, but I mean, like, the song by itself is fucking great, you know. And then Fast as You, you know, another really good song. And then his Queen covers and stuff he did, and you know, stuff like that. He's fucking awesome, man.
I like a lot of country. I grew up, my grandfather loved it. A lot of that old stuff is really dark too, man. My grandfather loved Tony Robbins, and he's got one song, "They're Hanging Tonight," and the song's about how he catches his girlfriend cheating on him. He goes downtown, him and the guy she's dead, and it's like, wow, it came out like a man, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he probably bought that tape at a fucking convenience store too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I said, there's a lot, dude. I mean, I've come around on a lot of music. I used to like, hell no, fuck that shit, you know. But now I'm like, you know, there's a lot of like 80s pop and stuff I kind of got into and stuff like way late, you know. Like I never like, like even like Michael Jackson's early stuff. It's like you listen to it, and it's like, man, his backing band or the band that recorded this shit is really fucking good. Like really, really good. I mean, like his like vocal harmonies and melodies and stuff. Not necessarily the subject matter. I don't really care, but like just like hit the musicianship is like it's top notch, man. Like it really is. A lot of this stuff. Talking Heads, another one. You know, you listen to them, like man, these guys were pretty far ahead of their time. Really, as far as like music and stuff. So,
I'll say there's a lot of songs that I don't know the names of. That's the problem, is I can't remember the artist or the name, but there are some like older country songs that I used to like when I was growing up, but I can't think of the name of them at all.
right.
Speaking of Michael Jackson, have you seen that video of his old drummer? His name is Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffett.
Yeah,
it's on Vimeo, dude. That shit. Oh my god, that thing's amazing. Talk about tight. That guy. Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is pretty good though. Like when they have like the actual like drummer just doing like things like Dirk Verhoeven like playing like through like Holy Wars or something like that. I really like that stuff because they get really cool angles and then break it down. But like when it's just dudes like talking to other people, it's like, man, come on, guys, shut up, let the guy play, you know. But yeah, apparently that whole studio up there has like every instrument like covered. Like there's like a EO for like everything. There's one for like piano, there's one for guitar, there's one for drums, one for something else, vocals, I think, singing. So yeah, I mean they got some pretty cool videos of like playthroughs and stuff of whatever. Like one of my favorite drummers, Ash Pearson from 3 Inches of Blood and Revocation, does a lot of stuff, and he like broke down like the 5 like Lars drum beats and stuff. And like it's like if only Lars would play it like this good anymore, you know? Because like the shit was like really good in studio, man. I was like, wow, man, this guy was so creative. And now it's like, what the fuck happened to this guy? He's like so bland, you know. It's like he doesn't even try, you know. Do what?
He just like seems like
yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's all depressing now, but yeah, well, it is what it is. Like, all right, guys. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up here? Because I've got all my 6 questions answered, you know, and nothing else wrote down.
I don't really have much to add.
Okay, cool. We'll wrap it up then.
Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel.
So I think you did a great job.
No, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to do a short one because my voice is still messed up here.
No, yeah.
Get back on track here, you know, later this month. But all right, guys. Well, as always, Daniel is on Metal on a Budget. Aaron does Ossont and Battery. Metal on a Budget is a used gear show. Hold on a minute, Daniel. I think I got some interference from over here. Yes. Metal on a Budget is a used gear show that you can check out if you're interested in buying some equipment like pedals, amps, and such to see what he can unlock in it. Aaron does an interview style show, not really similar to Mark's, where he comes at it from a fan perspective more than sharing common stories. So make sure you check out Ossont and Battery twice monthly. So far, the response has been pretty good for both these shows. So excited to have you guys on, and makes me make sure I step up my game for sure, because I've been kind of coasting for a little bit with all the stuff on my plate. But now that my plate is clear, no festivals to promote, shows to promote, stuff like that. I'm just in father mode and work mode and songwriting mode now. So I can actually focus on more Alehorn stuff for sure, Flamekeeper Alehorn stuff. And make sure you check them out on the Facebook and Patreon, flamekeeper.vip. If you're interested in helping us out financially, help us pay the bills, Zoom subscriptions, video editing, stuff like that. And and also on YouTube, Flamekeeper Pod on YouTube, and get all the shows when they come out. Leave comments, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, guys, stay safe, stay heavy, and we will see you next month.
Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music include a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory to rock school, Weekend Warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus an original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.